stick with it, and the songs just kind of really came natural.
Yeah, absolutely. That you guys together as a duo on a song is like pretty crazy. Same with you and Sylvan Gold. We'll touch on that a little later, but I do want to try to get everybody to kind of know a little bit where you came from, like where your origins lie and all that.
For sure, man. Well, I mean, mom's from Brazil, my dad's from Chile, so I've always had a pretty diverse background when it came to just my sound and inspiration. I was born in East LA, and then I was raised in West LA, and kind of migrated all over LA before I started, transitioning to the San Fernando Valley in the A1A. So just that alone kind of gave me so many different perspectives in regards to just city life and being on more of a urban terrain than a rural one. So kind of before hip hop even came to my life, it was mostly like samba, bossa nova, jazz, like soft rock, hard rock, and a lot of it was infused from my Brazilian background and culture as well. More than my Chilean, because I was raised mostly by my mom. My folks split when I was like one, so I was mostly with my mom, and my dad came through whenever he could. So just the sounds alone, that before hip hop came to my life, I was already just up on a different kind of just tip in general, because I didn't know too many heads. I didn't know too many Brazilians or Chilenos in general. You know what I'm saying? So just being just on a more unique race compared to what I was used to my surroundings, that already gave me like just an interesting perspective. I went to Brazil for the first time when I was 6 years old, and it was crazy because it all kind of hit me at once. I was into this cartoon called Rugrats, right? You know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Crisscross, the old, remember the OG hip hop group that had their big song, Crisscross will make you jump, jump.
Yeah.
Commercial for Rugrats, and that was like really my first time being introduced to this, just the hip hop sound or what the hell rapping was.
Mm.
So at the same time, I'm getting into rock by my dad giving me like Queen's greatest hits and like Eagles and AC/DC and shit like that. So when I went to Brazil for the first time when I was 6, out of nowhere, man, I got so inspired by that Crisscross Rugrat cartoon that I just started freestyling and beatboxing out of nowhere. So I remember I would rap for my family in Brazil, and there was no instrumentals or music, and I would have like my family stomp their feet and clap their hands like Queens, we will rock you. Like,
Mm.
and I would just start freestyling, and my family was fascinated because they didn't know what the fuck I was saying. Oh, do you mind if I cuss? Is that all right?
Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
They didn't know what the fuck I was saying, and B, they didn't even know I could rap. So it was just such a culture shock on so many levels that kind of hit me at once. That was like really my randomly 6 years old was my, I guess you could call it, evolutionary year where it all really just hit me. Like my introduction to so many musics, including the one I based my career on, as well as just getting introduced to my family, being on the other side of the world, and infusing it all together to now I'm able to reflect on all that and talk about my past experiences and really evolve my creative expression when it comes to my music input as well as output. So that's really where it all where it all kind of stems from. After I got back to the homeland, I was in Brazil for like 3 months. So when I got back, maybe less than a year later, my mom and my stepdad got together. My stepdad's from Argentina, so that's a whole other mix. A lot of exotic Latin cultures that I've only been accustomed to, and then my girl's Mexican as well. So we were staying on that strictly Latin too.
Mm-hmm.
So when my mom and my stepdad, I'm an only child. He had 4 biological daughters and 4 foster daughters. So I went from an only child to having 8 stepsisters, man, and it was no fucking heaven. But all of them were into different shit. I was the youngest, right? I was 7 years old, and they were all 13 and up. So from that, I got introduced to, I believe, the first CD I ever owned, first hip hop CD I owned was Warren G, Regulators, G-Funk. And I just fell in love with that shit. I never heard something so melodic, smooth. I was just used to that Crisscross Rugrats song. So getting introduced to that Warren G, Regulators, it just opened up my mind on a whole other thing. And then another stepsister was listening to Sublime, and I was listening to their second album, the Garden Grove album, technically, which infused, reggae, punk rock, ska, technically, is the politically correct term for the genre. And so from there, it just kept evolving. It just kept evolving. I was kept introduced to when we actually had CDs. This was 94, 95 to 96 we're talking about here, when CDs were still selling, and I was able to sit with this physical, tangible, like, object that had some crazy music on it that I never heard before, and it just kept adding to my arsenal of perspectives, sounds, and inspirations, and it just kind of really kept helping me mold me where I am today. Destruct came into the picture when I was like 12, when I really wanted to take this rap shit serious. 17 is when I started even doing shows, when I wasn't even old enough to do shows. And literally, I would rock and then have to leave the club. And ever since 17 to now, man, being 31 now, it's like over a decade and some change. I've like dedicated my life to this craft, and it's just amazing to see everything that's happened, the legends I've been able to build with, all the projects I've been able to put out, and I still have the will and hunger to create, even now more than ever. Whereas crazy as times are, we have no choice but to stay productive and stay positive. And I mean, shit, who knows what we can cook up while we're still, under lockdown.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
a quick little outline of just what really got me going into this whole hip hop culture and how I got introduced to it.
Hmm. Yeah, and I started doing this new thing for I think the past. Well, actually, I only did it on one interview. Now that I think about it, I keep forgetting to write it down. It's something brand new, pretty much. But if you were stuck on an island for a whole year, oh no, scratch that. If you were stuck in lockdown,
I like where this question's going already. And I already have your answer, but go ahead.
Alrighty, cool. So we got a whole year, and for some reason the government is just like fucking up the internet. You only have 3 artists to listen to, but that includes all the songs they're featured on and whatnot. 3 artists or bands. Which ones do you choose for the rest of the year?
Now, are we going to CDs specifically?
No, you can do CDs, but you can also do like just whatever you have saved on Spotify or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Well, number one, the artist is really sitting right next to me. I don't know if you can see this right here. It would be, my bad, Bruce Lee. It would be right there, which is Sade's greatest hits. See the woman right there?
Okay.
Sade's greatest hits. I'm a huge, like I said, I got a very, very diverse history and background when it comes to my musical selections and everything that just gets my mind going. And Sade was something that I remember my mom used to listen to this radio station. Do you remember Coast 103.5?
Yeah, I used to work at a restaurant. That's all they would play. So it got to a point where every song was actually like timed at a certain time of the day. That's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely Sade's greatest hits. That would be like the first CD or artist I would pick. Then next to Sade would probably be, let me see if I can time this right, right there, which is Mos Def. Like on both sides.
Yeah.
One of my favorite MCs till today. There's no other MC that can sing just as dope as they can MC, and an MC as dope as they can sing. He's definitely one of my biggest motivations to when it comes to just expressing myself in different ways when it comes to hip hop, to not just put myself in a box, and even like inspire me to harmonize and even attempt to try to sing or have my flows more melodic. So definitely Mos Def.
And but that's also with that decision, you also got like Black Star along with that whole thing, and you got like the whole Yasin Bey like discography even along with that whole choice. That's a really smart one. I didn't think about that.
Exactly. I mean, just from his first 2 albums alone, from Black on Both Sides to New Danger, I was talking to my girl about it lately. Like, I love the fact that Mos is one of the few MCs that's such a risk taker. Because like his debut album was so straight back to basics hip hop, and then New Danger, his second album, was on some straight like rock, bluegrass, folky kind of feel with like hints of hip hop in it. So I don't know too many MCs that are that like much of a risk taker to go from straight spitting to some straight classic rock and jazz bluegrass styles. You know what I mean? So Mos is definitely, he's a different one of the bunch, man, for sure. He's definitely a different one. So Sade, Mos, and shit, man. Last but not least, fuck it, man. Since he's right behind me, I would go with some Tupac greatest hits. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. When I, my chick's a big Tupac fan, and I admitted that I told her at the time I was a bigger Biggie fan, but she reminded me of how much I grew up on Pac. And do you remember magazines, man, where you can order or buy like 5 CDs for like $1 or some shit? You remember that?
Yeah, I remember seeing those cutouts. Yeah, my dad used to get those back in the day.
Remember that shit? What was it? It was like 5 CDs for like $7 or something like that.
I mean, I don't remember prices because like I'm 26, so I think when that was really big and popping, I think I was like, watching TV so much, like I was like 5 years old or something. But I remember seeing like those deals where like, oh, like they're gonna for such a cheap price you get so many different CDs and the magazine. That, oh wow, and
Yeah, dude.
yeah, I've always thought that was pretty cool. You know what I mean?
That shit was funny. I remember like I would get it would be anything from Corn to freaking Tupac to DMX to Lit when Lit was still a band and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely Tupac's greatest hits. That was a CD that I actually bought from that magazine deal, and that was a CD that man I played the fuck out front to back. Like definitely, I mean, what is there to say about Pac that hasn't been said already? You know what I mean? Like one of the greatest poets, period. And I think he's definitely one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to just work ethic and hustle. Like he created knowing that he never knew when his time was up. That's why what other artists you know that pretty much has a bigger catalog after they passed away than while they were still alive? You know what I mean? So shit is nuts. But definitely I would say Sade, Mos, and Pac would be definitely three artists I would have in heavy rotation if I was stuck on an island on some Castaway shit. Which, by the way, my beard already looks very Castaway-ish. With this bullshit lockdown, I'm going to have to invest in trimmers because all my barbers are fucking closed down. I'm going to have to find some way to tame this shit.
No, I feel you, man. Me, I can't do facial hair. I really can't. I try to grow it out sometimes. It just never works in my favor. So me keeping it this way. Nah, it's definitely like a neck beard. It's not even like a full beard. It's like a poser beard for sure.
Bro, we need this though to add maturity to us because without these beards, we look like straight up chambelans, quinceañera ready and shit. You know?
Yeah, like absolutely, man. Like now I don't even get carded. It's like a good and bad thing for me. It saves me time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still get carded, but I take it as a blessing in disguise because I'm like, yo, thanks for making me feel young, man. I'm gonna be 32 this year, so I was like, thanks for still making me feel young, shit. You know?
Yeah, man. You know, it's a blessing and a curse at times.
For real.
So before we get into your like personal like solo career, as a rapper,